Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Halo Forge Epidemic. This is Psychoduck, and I'm here with another competitive map tutorial today. This tutorial is going to be in several parts and is going to cover vehicle balance. So part 1 is going to be looking at how to construct a vehicle circuit with good driving paths. So obviously the first part of balancing infantry and vehicles is the vehicles need to be able to drive around properly. So this is going to be looking at really just light vehicles, namely warthogs. Basically, if you're driving, or if you're testing a vehicle circuit, you want to test warthogs. Unless you have no intention of putting them on your map, then, test whatever is going to be the main vehicle. But hogs are kind of the best go-to vehicle to just drive around on these. If it works for a warthog, it's going to work for a ghost or a mongoose, etc. So, anyways, the first thing you'll notice is just I'm showing all these different maps, and the most important thing is there needs to be a circuit. So vehicles need to be able to drive around the map without ever doing like a hard turn. They should be able to just loop around the map naturally. So you'll have these natural turns, which are going to be like wider turns that are easy to do. And you don't have to think about it. You just drive, you turn, it's part of the circuit. That's it. That's how you get around the map. But then you'll have these less natural turns, which will be more like cut-throughs between different areas of the map. So the first map I was showing was Warhorse, which we featured a while ago, and that's very simple. It's just a single circular circuit with all natural turns, no real cut-throughs. This map kind of has 3 different circles that all connect, and you just drive through, really just all natural turns on here as well, unless you're going through that little bridge in the center. That's a bit less natural of a path, but essentially I'm just looping around over and over again. Very simple, very natural. So this is Kypris by Pyro, or Fang I should say. So yeah, another good example of a simple vehicle circuit with lots of good natural turns. Something I would recommend, guys, is watch my brake lights throughout this video, because when I'm tapping my brake lights, that means I'm doing a power slide. So on a natural turn, you shouldn't have to use your brakes. You should be able to just drift right around the turn. So this is Embarcadero by Flying Shoe, which we've featured, and what I'm kind of showing here is there's this wide path around the map, this wide loop circuit, with pretty much natural turns all around it, but then in the inside of the map, where I'm at now, there's all these tighter turns, more risky driving paths. So you can kind of loop around the outside of the map, but if you want to go through the middle, you have to go through slightly less natural turns and whatnot. So again, it's just good to have these sort of inside paths. You don't just want a circle for vehicles to drive around your map. You'll want more than that. But yeah, hopefully you guys are starting to get an idea of what I'm talking about. Those of you who haven't already. If you're already pretty familiar with this, you might be more interested in part 2, which will show more of actual vehicle infantry balance and weapons and whatnot. But for now, I'm going to keep kind of analyzing these different paths, just trying to show you guys some good ways to do them. So these are all just really good examples. And yeah, as you can see, just continuing to, like I said, wide outside loop, sharper inner turns, and that's something really important. Something else to keep in mind is you don't want your vehicles to spawn directly on the circuit. You generally want, like here you can see them spawning kind of off to the side in that little garage. This is Metropolis by Mach Missile. That sort of thing. You don't want vehicles to be spawning in the middle of your circuit, blocking it. So this map I'm showing because it kind of starts to add a bit more height variation into the vehicle circuit, so there's a bit of overlap and that sort of thing. So there's this jump up here, And this is natural terrain, which is easier to work with, sort of. It's, you know, more natural to drive on. But something else to keep in mind, guys, is if you have an incline of greater than about 15 degrees, your Warthog is going to catch quite a bit of air. Grab shell, dude! Like surfer talk, like, righteous, righteous. Just, you know, crazy getting air and such. You don't really want that so much most of the time. So try to keep your inclines kind of more tame. So, you know, these are very shallow downgrades on here. So here I'm showing again some more height variation you get here. And also mainly this map has two connected circles to drive on. So you've got one formed by this tunnel onto the beach and up this road to the left, and then, you know, this other one, which is you know, this road and all this surrounding this building. So, you know, that's another good way. You can, you know, pick and choose which way you really want to go throughout, and it just works very well. So something else to keep in mind is you want your vehicle circuits to be wide enough that you're not kind of funneled down them. Now sometimes, you know, like in this tunnel, you know, there's a little bit of funneling, but for the most part, you know, if the whole map's like that, you don't really want that. So, you know, in most areas on this map, I can just pick whatever spot I want and just, you know, put on the e-brake and just power slide around a turn and just start going the other direction. You know, so keep that sort of thing in mind too. You just want driving to feel natural, to work well. You never want to have to stop and turn around. And it's really pretty simple, and it's something, you know, you look at some of these maps, some big team maps in matchmaking and whatnot, and I think you'll get the hang of it pretty quick. It's not too difficult to design a good vehicle circuit. Of course, the actual challenge comes in when you start trying to balance the vehicles with infantry and weapons and all that, which will again be in part 2 of this tutorial. But yeah, I think you guys should be able to get the hang of it pretty easy. Again, just make it feel natural to drive on. So this last map I'm showing is S, which was my map, and this map has rather different balance, but what you can see is, you know, there's these natural turns, there's the bank on the sides, and just these turns, and then there's these cut-throughs. So yes, the paths are a bit more funneled on this map, but there's breaks in them. Like the one I just went through, the one I went through again, even though I failed at it. So, you know, you can tell that wasn't so much of a natural path, because, you know, I actually crashed into the wall. You know, it takes a bit more skill, but then there's also natural paths. Again, it's kind of a risk versus reward thing of like natural path versus unnatural path, which will get you somewhere a bit faster. But anyways, guys, I hope this helps you guys start thinking more about how to make good vehicle paths, and the rest of this tutorial should help quite a bit with, you know, just getting your big team maps ready to have some good infantry vehicle balance and all that. So this part might not be super helpful on its own, but it will be with the rest in the future. So thanks for watching, guys. This has been Psychoduck with Halo Forge Epidemic, signing out.